Didn't think I'd ever come back here.
You didn't tell them I'm a wildling.
She disgraced her house, her king.
He's torn our family apart.
We should treat them without mercy, and we will. Show them what we do to our enemies.
Welcome back, everybody, to Rant of Thrones, the poor man's Game of Thrones after show. I'm Justin, live from my bathroom.
And you can tell I'm Kelly from the same wonderful studio that I'm always in. So I should sound super awesome, and you're going to sound like you're from your bathroom.
Yeah, it probably sounds from my bathroom, but according to some people, the bathroom has the best acoustics of any place in your home.
If you think about it, if you're sitting on the toilet and you let one rip, does it not? It echoes nicely around and it comes back in this really warm way.
It does. It does. I don't really want it to come back in a super warm way, but the echoing part I'm okay with. That's quite all right.
You know what I mean.
I think people just threw up if they were eating while they were listening to this podcast because that's disgusting. I'm not actually going to the bathroom, people. It's quite all right. I'm not taking a poo during the middle of our after show of Game of Thrones. It's because I just moved and I don't have all my stuff, so I'm doing this from a telephone.
Oh my God, so old-fashioned.
From a rotary phone.
No, you're lying.
No, not really. But through the power of the internets, we are still doing Game of Thrones after the show airs, which is pretty damn impossible and pretty cool. Not damn impossible.
You just mean you want us to pat ourselves on the back. Or no,
exactly.
Actually, we are patting ourselves on the back, and you'd like for someone else to pat it too.
Yeah, that we're still here in the middle of my move. But we're here to talk about Game of Thrones, Season 6, Episode 6. Blood of My Blood was this episode. And in this episode, an old foe comes back into the picture. Gilly meets Sam's family, who's one member of the family is a bag of dicks.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Arya faces a difficult choice, and Jaime faces off against the High Sparrow.
It's really interesting to me because, once again, I'm going back and rewatching season 1, which I keep doing over and over again. And so some of the characters that were in tonight's episode, I just had seen from season 1. And that was fun.
Yeah, it definitely helps. I'm the same. I just finished up season 1 on our 12 to 13-hour road trip on the way of our move. And man, season 1, God, it was glorious. It was so good. But yeah, you're so right about that because this show is damn confusing. I saw some people on Twitter, specifically Lincoln's Finger, Heather. She was having a rough time as well because there were so many. First off, there was so much going on in this freaking episode. I wrote down my little cheat sheet as we're podcasting of just like all the characters that we saw. We saw Bran and Mira, Sam and Gilly, lots of stuff at King's Landing, Arya at Bravos, and then Dany really shortly. And then the old foe that made a return was Walder Frey. So we haven't seen him in quite some time.
Right.
I don't recall if we saw him a lot after the Red Wedding, but I mean, he left such an impression during the Red Wedding that nobody will ever forget that asshole. So, and plus I love David Bradley. So it was so cool getting to see him back because we typically see him on the Strain.
Right.
And I like him so much more as Walder Frey, I think. I don't know. It's tough.
He's if you didn't know it was him, you wouldn't know it was him because you know what I'm saying? The characters are so completely opposite of the way he is on the Strain. You know, he's just he's still kind of a you're right. He is a curmudgeon on the Strain.
Yeah, they're both grumpy old men on both shows, but I will say that on Game of Thrones, he has better material to work with.
Okay, yes. I will agree.
Nice.
I will agree.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, which we're not talking about the Strain, but if you love David Bradley, go check him out on the Strain. His little tiny piece in this episode had a lot of ramifications for the rest of the season because if you didn't know who he has Edmure Tully. That's who he has captured, and Edmure Tully is the rightful heir to Riverrun, which is basically where Jaime is going at this point to fight Bryden, the Blackfish, which is Catelyn and Edmure's. I believe it's their cousin, or I don't know. I forget who like who exactly he is. But so basically, and that's where Jon is headed to. So it's like shit is just colliding at River Run, and then we got Walder Frey's old ass who has like this captive, which is going to suck because at the end of the day, they're going to have to bargain with Walder Frey, and we all know how that ends, not
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, he's not a pleasant guy to bargain with.
No.
Maybe he'll, I don't know,
Maybe
die.
he'll die before then.
Exactly, he'll die of old age. But he's one of those dudes that seems like he'll outlive everyone.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the whole like Game of Thrones, the series will end. Jon, Dany, Sansa, everybody's
It'd be
dead,
dead,
and
yeah.
then Walder Frey takes over the damn Iron Throne. What
We
a
wouldn't
bunch of bullshit.
We wouldn't have seen that coming.
No, nobody would have seen that coming. That would have definitely been. People would have been praising. Well, they probably wouldn't be praising George R. R. Martin. They would probably be cursing him for decades and centuries to come if Walder Frey takes over the Iron Throne. So
it's funny because the nice thing about going back and watching the series again, you can watch the After the Thrones thing on HBO, and they were talking about the whole thing with Ned and how in most series he would have been saved. The good guy usually wins, but in Game of Thrones, the good guy never wins, and that's what makes it glorious.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't like the good guys winning. That's for sure. I had a question about this episode from all the stuff that went down at King's Landing because I loved how the Tyrell and Lannister's plan just went to absolute shit. I think everybody kind of could see this happening with Tommen because the High Sparrow, he's fed him some lines of bullshit that Tommen, he's buying it. He's eating all of the High Sparrow's bullshit.
He drank the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, he definitely is drinking the Kool-Aid. He's on the High Sparrow's teat, that is for sure. Do you think Marjorie's on it as well, or is she just playing along? Because last time we saw her, High Sparrow gave her his line of bullshit, and she kind of was like, into the story a little bit. But then whenever she went to her brother, she was like, this dude's so full of crap. Don't listen to him. We've got to show our strength. But then in this episode, it was like a complete 180.
I think she's the ultimate player. I think she's super smart, and she knew that sucking up to him was what was going to get her out.
I hope so, but man, this was some crazy stuff that went down there. The fact that Jaime got stripped of his title of Captain of the King's Guard.
Yeah.
And I just
Lord Commander of the King's Guard.
Oh yeah, exactly, Lord Commander of the King's Guard. And Tommen,
Tommen is just I'm sorry, he's a puss. He just
he
is.
is.
Okay, but you have glossed over the most important part of this whole thing, and that was Jaime on the white horse riding up those steps. I literally swooned.
You did?
And I don't ever use that word, but I was like, there's only one word to describe it. I was swooning. Oh my God.
I thought, I'm glad you said swooning. I was thinking another S word that you were going to say but I'm glad that you didn't take that.
I don't even know
that road.
Don't even know what that word is, so I will skip over that.
It's a SKEET, and then you say it multiple times in a row.
Oh, skeet.
Yes.
I remember when you sucked me into doing that one time.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And
Before
you just
we
did now.
started.
Yeah, you just did.
I did it again. I mean, I would have thought that by now you would have been able to spell that out in your head and be like, no, Justin's not going to get me again, but it still happened. But yeah, it was a badass moment for Jaime as he rode the white horse up there, and then it was all for naught. And
I know he wants to say, look, you little shit, I'm your father.
Yeah, exactly. Listen to your father.
Yeah, exactly. I did love, though, Jaime and Cersei plotting their revenge, and apparently it makes you super horny for,
Oh my God.
because they went at it. Funerals and revenge, just actually everything makes them hot.
It seems to be the case. I mean, they love getting it on after like I don't know, just terrible stuff. I don't. Yep, I just wrote down. Yeah, Cersei gives him a pep talk to get the castle at River Run. Then they bone.
Yeah.
So yeah, they do like doing that. I'm kind of worried about Cersei though because she thinks that the mountain is going to, well, Franken Mountain is going to automatically win this trial by combat, but there's lots of theory and speculation going around that the other combatant may actually be none other than the Hound
Uh-huh.
reincarnated, I guess. I actually don't
Well,
know. I mean,
we
he
don't
wouldn't be
know it.
reincarnated, but he would just be in a,
Well, we
well,
don't know if
just
he.
him.
Yeah, but we don't know. We don't really know that he died because we didn't get to watch it.
No, we did not get to see that, but uh,
I mean, odds
eh,
are.
do you think that Jamie would be off at River Run? Cersei, takes out Franken Mountain, says, "This is, I'm doing the trial by combat. This is my champion," and she gets killed
That would be awful.
while Jamie is gone.
That would be awful. Um, on this show, I could see it happening. I really, I mean, there's certain characters that I don't ever want to see Game of Thrones without. And she's one. I mean, because I love to hate her.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I love to hate her, but I still love how much she and her brother love each other. I mean, and I
It,
know it's disgusting, but they love each other. And kings and queens
well,
did it. Royal families did it for hundreds and hundreds of years.
okay, we say that she loves Jamie, but just like we both said up front, we just finished
I
season
know.
one,
I know.
and what happened? Well, it was either season one or the beginning of season two, whenever
It's
she's
season
shacking
one.
up with Lancel.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh. Oh
yeah,
no, that must have been season two.
yeah, I think that was the beginning of season two because I've gone back and I think I'm on episode three of season two on the rewatch. But yeah, I mean she shacks up with Lancel real quick after Jamie's gone. So I'm not saying that she doesn't love Jamie. I definitely think she does, and I think that she's now closer to Jamie after all of their children have been killed, and now she's got to deal with Tommen. She had to deal with Joffrey being a little shit, basically taken away all the power, and now she's got to deal with Tommen, who, like you said, is a puss, but is still undermining her.
Yeah, and to me, the thing about Joffrey was he was just insane because
Yes.
I'd forgotten how insane he was. But
Oh, it was
again,
so great.
yeah, he was just horribly, horribly evil.
So much better than Ramsay. Like I think, now we see Ramsay and we see how evil he is, which we didn't get any of him or John this week, which I know both of us. My girlfriend was giving me shit about it. She said your boo was not in this episode,
Oh,
and I said I know, and then I cried my pillow.
yeah,
But it was sad not seeing either one of them. But yeah, when you go back and you see how maniacal Joffrey was, and but he was so, to me, it seemed like he was like so off the cuff, but in a way it seemed so calculating because he kind of knew sometimes when to pull back, like his evilness,
mm-hmm.
and it doesn't. Ramsey, I don't know. Ramsey seems sloppy sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. Ramsey's one of those guys that I don't know. He'd put you in the refrigerator to save you for later to eat, and then he'd forget and invite people over, and tell them to get a beer, that kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Oh yeah. No.
Yeah, so evil,
Exactly.
but
And then he
still,
would have to kill everybody,
yeah, that's
and
true,
they could have been his friends,
right?
but
But
they're
no,
like, hey, you saw that that head in there, so
yeah.
now I'm gonna have to feed you to the hounds. So let's. I wanted to talk about a few other things quickly in this episode. Sam and Gilly, man.
Oh my God, Gilly cleans up nice.
Oh yeah, Gilly was looking good in
Yeah,
this episode. Because I've seen her in real life,
yeah.
and then you see her on the show. Because whenever Sam's mom and the daughter,
Hmm.
Sam's sister, were when they were talking about, oh, you can take a bath now. I'm like, yes, give this
Please,
girl a
God,
bath.
yes.
She
Um,
needs it.
she looked amazing, but Horrible Hill. his family home is what I call it because his dad is just such a total turd. Um,
Yes.
was so lovely and green and warm and huge. I mean,
Yeah,
it
I did.
was
It was.
God so big.
Yeah, I didn't know that Sam was definitely. I didn't know he was balling like that.
Yeah,
That
he totally
place
was.
was amazing. I guess because you see, the Sam we've always seen has just been the Sam at the Watch, and they make his character out to be so, for lack of a better word, pathetic.
Well, we
Um,
saw that same pathetic character at the dinner table.
Yeah, he's super meek, I mean,
Mhm.
his dad is such an asshole, and just anything that Sam does isn't good enough. It doesn't matter that Sam's like super genius level compared to
Right.
like everybody else in Westeros. That as long as Sam can't kill a deer, then he's a loser basically.
Yeah.
So another thing that really ticked me off, and I was like, I cannot wait until this family gets eaten by White Walkers is everybody wants anytime White Walkers get brought up with any of these other, lords of any place in Westeros.
Lords of the Warm Weather.
Yeah, they all
Hmm.
want to talk shit about the White Walkers, and I'm like, bro, you're gonna get it.
Yeah.
You're gonna remember this when the White Walkers creep up on Horrible Hill and they eat all you guys.
You
Which
know,
they don't really eat you, but well, the Whites do, I guess. The Whites, I don't know if they eat you or they just rip you to
I
shreds.
don't, yeah, I don't know. And I don't know what to call them other than all of them White Walkers. When,
Well, there's the White Walkers and there's the Whites, which the
okay,
Whites are just the, I
the
guess, in
bones.
well, yeah, they're the ones that are the bones and like the ones that the Night's King raises up. They're basically the zombies, if
Okay. Yeah, I want to call them zombies, but I know people from, purists of Game of Thrones will kill me. Um,
Yes.
uh, how did you feel about, because I don't remember ever having a discussion about Randall, um Samuel's dad, having a sword of Valerian steel.
I mean, I don't remember it being on the show,
Hmm.
but yeah, I mean, I know from stuff that I've read that yeah, that I knew that he had Heartsbane. I did not realize that Sam was going to straight steal it.
I know, which I was so happy.
Yeah, I mean, but it's a good thing that he did because as Sam knows, we all need to be stocking up on Valyrian steel to
Yeah.
fight the White Walkers. So, and apparently, obviously Randall Tarley wasn't going to be doing much to fight the White Walkers because he's all concerned with who can kill a deer,
Yeah. Well,
and
and
that's about it.
it's a shame because Sam's mom and sister were just lovely people, and obviously,
Sam's
it,
mom was kind of hot.
she was very hot.
Didn't see
And
that coming either.
no, and his brother was very good looking as well. And so I'm like, somebody, they overfed him.
Well, I mean, it's I don't know if it's they overfed him or just he probably took comfort in food because his dad was such a
Yeah.
dick.
Yeah.
That's
Which came
that's what I'm
first? That's
thinking.
the deal.
Yeah, well, I think it came first that his dad was a dick,
Yeah.
because yeah, he was he was not cool at all. I loved how Gilly took up for Sam at the dinner table, and she was like, he's more of a warrior than any of you, which is true. I mean, where were the apparently Randall is like this master strategist at war and stuff, which I mean, his house kind of proves it. Like,
Yeah.
you
He's
don't.
done well.
Yeah, his house looked like it was out of Bravos or something. Like it looked. I mean, it looked like super fancy. Not Bravos. Marine. I guess is it Marine where we've seen like the really awesome houses whenever Danny was doing all of her travels and everything. It kind of reminds you of like Egyptian pyramids and like it's all really super nice because all the everybody else it seems like in Westeros they had castles and stuff and of course King's Landing is super nice, but
It
this place looked
seems
like super. It looked as nice as King's Landing to me.
and it totally escapes me the name of the place where the sand snakes are.
Oh yes, Dorne. That's
Dorn.
that's what I'm thinking
Yeah.
of. Yeah, you're right. I've
Yeah.
I've I've tried to block my
I know
all of
you
my
hate
memories of Dorne
you
out,
hate
and I
that.
I think everybody on the show, like the writers and creators, I think they've tried to block Dorne out too because they have not traveled back to Dorne
No, we haven't revisited.
since the prince and everybody was
You
killed. So
but we will.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely going to have to at some point because, I mean, Cersei's going to have to kill them or they're going to have to kill Cersei. Either way it goes, I'm not really sure. So let's skip over to Bravos really quickly with Arya. She finally got to see Joffrey's death in person, and she loved it. She had some nice little chuckles at Joffrey's expense.
It was funny because I'm watching this play and I'm thinking, okay, they just basically they act out things that happened and they're almost completely true to it, except they add some farts. Um, it was the National Enquirer of their time.
It really was. And speaking of somebody farting, Tywin Lannister, the guy that plays Tywin Lannister,
Yeah.
I absolutely love that guy. I guess I didn't catch him whenever Arya saw him last time during the play because it's the dude from Hudson Hawk.
Oh, is it really?
Do you remember Hudson Hawk back in the day?
Yeah, I do. That Bruce Willis's stinker movie. No
Yeah,
one
yeah.
liked it. It was not critically acclaimed.
Well, it was acclaimed by me because I'm pretty sure I watched it a million times.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
but the guy's name is Richard E. Grant. He's been around forever, since the 80s and everything. And I'm sure if you're listening or watching this YouTube video right now, you're probably like, yeah, Richard E. Grant, he's well known and he's not just known for Hudson Hawk,
Well, it was. I
but
think he
that's
was
where I remember him from.
in one of the Bram
Yeah,
Stoker's
yes, he was
Dracula.
in
Yeah,
Dracula.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And I don't know why we always have to say that first part of it, but he was in one of the Draculas. So,
Yeah, and one of the many versions of Dracula
mhm.
that have came out. But I just wanted to point that out because I really like that dude. Even though he plays kind of an ass quite well because he gives Lady Crane shit for attempting to come up with some new versions of the ending of the play there and everything. So, but that's not the most important thing because Arya she bumblefucks killing Lady Crane up and
She doesn't bumblefuck it. She does exactly what she decided to do. She decided to be her father and be honorable.
yes, indeed. Well, we don't know how honorable Lady Crane is, but I don't think she's done anything wrong. That's for sure. It's just
Well,
that a younger actress that wants to take over the lead role,
yeah,
which
you
is a
saw her
stupid reason.
mouthing the lines, right?
Yeah, and it's funny because we talked about this previously. How we were both like, man, the faceless men, they don't seem very cool. They don't seem like they're out to really help society along. They're just looking. It seems like they were just trying to line their pockets,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. Which was,
Um,
our original thought was that they were good.
yeah,
And
I thought that they were going to help Arya, like put Arya on this path to, getting revenge on every person that has ever harmed the Stark family. Even though they're the faceless men and they're not supposed to have a background or anything like that, I still thought that Jack and Agar was gonna. I don't know. He seemed like such a cool dude, but
hmm
by the end of this episode, I'm like, all right, Arya, get Needle,
yeah.
stab Jack, and definitely stab that waif
She's
chick.
well, I think that the waif is for sure who's going to get it first because Jack tells her you're right. She wasn't going to cut it.
Yeah,
Go get rid of her. And Arya's just sitting there in her little corner. It's like, yeah, come fuck with me. You know?
exactly. I can't wait to see her just stab the crap out of everybody.
Yeah.
I feel like major bloodshed is going to happen in the House of Black and White, and then Arya is going to have like a billion faces that
It,
she can choose
yeah.
from.
Do you think she'll take him with her?
I think she's going to do just like Sam did, and she's going to straight steal all of the faceless men's
Yeah.
faces.
I don't remember until this episode actually seeing one being peeled off.
That was gross.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was, surgically. It was very nice.
I felt like I was in an episode of Nip Tuck,
Mm-hmm.
which, man, Nip Tuck used to
Oh man, that show
gross
was
me the
so
hell
bad.
out.
I loved the show, but
Yeah, it
yeah.
was a great show,
hmm
but man, I couldn't. That was like that and just all those surgery. I don't get like people can watch entire networks of plastic
I
surgeries and they're
am one of those.
disgusting.
I'm one of those people.
Oh God, it's gross, and I was like, oh, did I really need to see that? But I guess it kind of hammered home the point of if Arya doesn't do this, her face is going to get taken.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm excited about seeing what happens with Arya and everything with the Faceless Men. Hopefully by next week or the week after that. And then I think we got to end up talking about probably. I don't even know if it was my favorite part of the episode, but it
It
was
was meant
definitely
to
up
be.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was meant to be. I mean, I certainly enjoyed it, and that is of course Brandon Mira. God, even watching that previously on at the beginning of the episode with Hold the Door and seeing Hodor get
Yeah.
ripped to
Yeah.
pieces. I mean, it it makes you want to weep for Hodor. But we got a really cool reveal in this episode because Brandon Mira they get away, and then this badass dude that he's super mysterious. You can just see like the top of his face. He comes in and just kills all of these whites, like just destroys them with his like fireball
I'm not.
thingy.
I'm
I
not
don't know.
sure what you call those.
I don't know.
It's a. Isn't that a mace? The thing that you swing on the, like the just the metal ball that's on the end of a chain. I think is a mace.
That's
It,
what I thought it was,
yeah,
but
but I mean, obviously this one was on fire, so
which is even more
which
badass.
is was way cool, and I don't know why it reminded me of it reminded me of The Walking Dead when oh, it wasn't, was it Michonne, or was it, no, it wasn't Michonne that came in on the horse. It was actually that other girl. We haven't watched like uh
Maggie?
Maggie, remember when she comes in on the horse and she saves everybody, and she's like in the forest and she whacks them on the head, and then she runs out and says, come to the house.
She says, "Hey, get away from
Yeah,
here!
she says, no, she says,
I'm doing my best Game of
no,
Thrones
she says,
impersonation."
she says, no, she did it first. So I'm just saying.
Oh,
That's,
okay.
remember when she came to get Lori after Carl was shot.
Yes,
Okay, I'm
yes.
sorry. It just reminded me of that for just a second. So please do not make fun of me.
I mean,
I
I
I
don't
have
think
certain
Maggie's
shows.
quite as badass as Cold Hands, Benjen Stark.
Okay, you're probably right.
Maggie's pretty badass. I mean, Maggie. I don't know. I think I would prefer to watch Maggie ride in on the horse
Yeah.
than Benjen Stark. I mean, even if you think Benjen Stark is a handsome man, he was basically covered from head to
Yeah.
toe. You could just see right above his nose line and his eyes,
I
and
was
that's really all
afraid.
you could see.
I was afraid we weren't going to get the reveal.
Yeah, I was thinking they may play that
Drake.
out a little
Hmm.
bit, drag it out, but I'm glad that they didn't, and it was a super cool reveal. I mean, because Benjen Stark, he's awesome. I mean, he was one of the best Rangers in of everybody. So I mean, at Castle Black, he was badass, and he's been missing since season 1, and everybody's been like, "Where's this dude at?" I thought he was honestly. I thought we were gonna get him as like a White Walker or
Hmm.
one of the Whites or something, that he was going to be bad eventually. Thank God that he's not, because he's badass. And we hear the story that the Children of the Forest, they saved him, which now I'm kind of curious. Is he like as badass as the Night's King?
Well, I mean, it's like he got the poison.
Yeah, he got he got the same the dragon glass sword put in him
Right.
to help save him, as according to my interpretation of what he said, because we just watched the episode. That's what I thought. So I'm sitting here thinking, I mean, he rode in like a beast
Right.
and just destroyed all those dudes.
Yeah, and his eyes had just this weird fiery, the opposite glow of the Night's King.
The icy
Yeah,
blue
yeah.
of the White Walkers.
Hmm.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see going forward, and plus we got like that super creepy flashback sequence where Bran basically sees the history of the world in
Yeah.
that flashback
Right.
sequence, because it was somebody on Twitter that I follow. I think it's a Song of Ice and Fire. He does YouTube videos. He's great. I really like his stuff. He's very opinionated, but I respect that. That's awesome. He took some like screenshots, I guess, as he was watching the episode, because you see the Mad King and he's like, burn it all, and you see Jamie stabbing the Mad King and everything, which was really cool to see. You saw a lot of other stuff in that. I mean, I would have to go back and like, screen
Right.
capture each one of those little flashbacks because they were so quick. But it was really incredible to see. I can't wait to go back and actually do that, and so I can figure out what the hell was in each one of those flashbacks. But it was really cool to get to see all those things. It was really neat. Did you catch any of them that caught your eye, or they were really quick?
It was so quick, and of course, as always, I'm doing other things while I'm watching. Uh, but I just thought it was, again, for me, it was fun because I was seeing a lot of the things that I had just seen in season one. So
Yes.
so that mostly I was just going, I just saw that. I just saw that. So, but he was obviously seeing things that weren't flashbacks for himself.
No,
I mean,
he
it was
wasn't there.
other people's memories, and yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
which was cool, and I guess I'm guessing that whatever whatever the three-eyed raven did right before he died, he's basically downloading the Matrix, everything in the Matrix to Bran at this point,
Right.
because he's still um, basically, I guess, warging at that point at the beginning of the episode whenever Mira's dragging him and she's freaking out and he's seeing all the flashbacks and everything. So I don't I'm assuming that this is part of the training, that this is kind of completing the training for him so that way he knows the history of everything, which is really cool. There's so many like crazy ass theories of Bran and who he actually is, and I don't know. It's crazy to think that a show like Game of Thrones, which is like high fantasy, which is cool, has lots of magic, but now it's incorporating so much time travel stuff. Like
Yeah.
I feel like now I'm watching 12
I know.
Monkeys.
And I don't I didn't want time travel stuff in Game of Thrones.
It is I like it, but I'm also like I love time travel stuff. Like I love when it blows my mind. I love like
Oh,
thinking
please.
about it for hours and
I
hours.
love Back to the Future too, but or also.
Wait, yeah, I was about to say, do you not
No,
love Back to the Future
I
1 and
meant
3? Because
also
3 was badass when they
the
went to the in the Wild West. That was
the
super
whole
cool.
series. I love the whole series. I just I don't I don't know. There's some things that you feel like you understand this world in the little way that I can understand it. Uh, but when you start putting time travel in there, it's like, oh shit! Now my mind really is not going to get wrapped around this.
Yeah, it's. I'm pretty sure, which I have already done, you can get lost in trying to decipher everything and all these meanings and the hidden meanings. And, was Bran only seeing flashbacks? Was he seeing flash forwards as well? Because, we know that Cersei has some kind of evil plan. She could be thinking about just destroying all of King's Landing because they have, what was it, the wildfire that the crazy maesters had made back in the day, that they used whenever Stannis was
Mm-hmm.
trying to attack King's Landing, and
Mm-hmm.
Tyrion had them use the wildfire and
Mm-hmm.
destroyed all of Stannis'
Mm-hmm.
ships and everything. Because you see that one spot in the flashbacks or the flash forwards where everything is exploding, and it looks like it's in the Red Keep, is where it looks like it's coming from.
Hmm.
And I'm like, holy crap, is Cersei going to just basically blow up King's Landing because there's no other way to beat the High Sparrow because this dude is just so damn good at what he does because
That would be excellent.
it would be. So, yeah, so I don't know if they were all flashbacks. They could have, like I said, they could be flash forwards. Who the hell
Visions.
knows at this point? Yeah, visions of the future. I just can't wait. I mean, this damn episode, even though it was like to me, one of more of a
Shut your mouth. I don't even know what I
well,
know
no,
you're
I was gonna
there's
say
bad
it
crap going to
was
come out of there.
no, I was gonna say it was more. It felt more of like a disjointed episode. Like there was a lot that went on. There's always a lot that goes on in Game of Thrones, but for some reason this one felt a little bit like they were stuffing a little bit too much into the episode, especially like the Danny scene. I felt like the Danny scene was uh, I don't know. It felt kind of out of place compared to the rest of the stuff. I guess they always kind of. It seems like they always feel like they have to leave off on some like dun 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 dun,
Right, right.
like badass, epic moment. But I didn't need it. I didn't need that in this episode for it to. They're all good. Like every episode is really good. But for me, that portion was the only one that kind of felt a little bit out of place. But
I,
because it's like they keep coming back to that, I'm like, okay, she came out of the fire, that hyped everybody up. Now she's like, oh, I got to get on Drogon's back because this is gonna hype. They're gonna be
yeah,
hype as fuck after this.
yeah.
So I don't know.
I did want
Eh.
to point out that it was that scene was a little unrealistic because if you have a big ass dragon like that fly over you when you're on horseback, your horse is going to buck you off.
Yeah, they definitely are. The horses will buck you off like at a cell phone going off.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I would have been, she'd have been doing this speech, are you going to follow me for now and for always? And, I would have been being drugged behind my horse and, the other
Yeah, all
direction.
the
So,
horses would have been just like
like, yeah,
hightailing it out of
yeah,
there.
yeah. So,
Yeah, I mean, I get that these people are supposed to be the horse whisperers,
right.
basically, but you've been riding horses
For a
since you
long time.
were like in your teens,
No, actually in my
maybe even younger than that.
single digits.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I will point out Drogon is getting freaking huge.
I,
Like,
I
damn,
know.
he's big. Uh,
Ginormous.
yeah, I think the other two dragons are going to be like miniature dragons whenever Drogon comes back to them. So,
Mhm.
but no, overall, I love this episode. I thought it continues the badassery of season 6.
Yeah.
Like this season is just incredible. Absolutely loving it. Can't wait for next week. We better get some Jon Snow. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
We didn't get any Sansa in this episode, but I went and saw X-Men Apocalypse today, so I feel like I got my fill of Sansa being badass because she was badass
Was
in
she
Apocalypse. Yeah,
nice?
just had to give Sophie Turner some props.
Yeah, give her
We
some
I,
love.
I wasn't sure. My girlfriend and I both weren't sure. Like we're like, okay, can she pull something else off outside of Game of Thrones? But I think she did an excellent job as Jean Grey in X-Men Apocalypse. So go if you're missing some Sansa this week, go check her out in that. So, do you have any other final thoughts on the episode?
No, I think we covered it all.
I think so as well. I'm looking through my notes
Yeah,
here. My
I'm looking through mine and I see that, check, check, check,
yeah,
check.
Randall Tarley,
Yep,
asshole.
yeah, exactly.
That's about it. I think the number one thing to take away from this, there's still some old assholes around,
Yeah.
Randall Tarley and Walder Frey, and I think Walder, I think he might die pretty soon. So, might be glorious to see that happen. I'm hoping one of the Starks get him because they deserve to get some
Yes.
retribution for his
Yes. It
ass.
would only be fair.
Yes,
Do we rate the bacons and
I think so.
yeah,
I think so. How many bacons do you give it?
I give it out of 5 bacons. I'm going to give this one 5 bacons.
Oh my.
I'm
Back to back 5
uh-huh.
bacon episodes. Okay, I'm gonna give it 4.25 bacons. It got one of those bacons is a quarter,
Oh,
and because there was no Jon
Jon
Snow,
Snow.
so you
Yeah.
you got to take away
Okay.
at least 3/4 of a bacon
I get you.
because we got to see that sexy hair.
That's
So
true.
you can, I guess, email us, yes, at rantpocalypse@gmail.com. Leave all your comments in the comment box down below. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the episode. We would love to know, do you ever think about
Jon
doing
Snow's
YouTube
hair.
videos?
Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
well, while you're in the bathroom, Jon Snow's hair while you're in the bathroom.
That's just
That,
creepy. That
that's
is super creepy.
that's where you end it. I think
That's
that's where
so
we end it.
creepy.
So thanks so much for checking our video out. If you like this content, hit subscribe.
Oh God.
Bye bye.
Bye.